the doctor told me that my mom wouldn't survive COVID. He told me that her lungs had become so severely scarred that they could no longer expand to take in oxygen. So I walked in the room and I shook my head at her, and she knew something was wrong, and she asked what was going on, and I told her. I said, "Mom, you're not going to live." So we took a few minutes. We cried together. I held her hand, and she asked me to call my dad and tell my dad as well. So we did. And about 20 minutes later, I got a phone call from my aunt that my grandpa was dying. So my mom and I called my grandpa, and I put him on speakerphone so she and I could say our last goodbyes. And he spoke to my mom, and he said, "Kiddo, I'm not doing good." And she said, "Dad, I'm not either." And he said, "Trey, I'm dying." And she said, "Dad, I am too." And he said, "Then I'll look for you in heaven." And that was their final goodbye. And within an hour, my grandpa had died. My mom continued her fight for another 18 days before she passed. I've seen the devastating effects. I've witnessed firsthand in the hospital spending 18 days with my mom, just how painful, the amount of suffering that she went through just for the glimmer of hope that she would live, that she would survive. I watched my best friend cry in pain. I watched my mom gasp for every breath that she took. I watched my mom have to say goodbye to her dad, and my dad have to say goodbye to his wife. I held my mom's hand as she took her final breath. My grandpa was gentle and sweet. He was the hardest working person that I have ever got to know. There was not a day that went by that he wasn't out working on cars or building something or helping anybody that needed any help. Since my mom was sent home from seeing my dad, the scratchy throat continued. And for a while, she just kept saying, I've always heard COVID could be really bad. It just really isn't that bad. It's just, a scratchy or sore throat, maybe a little bit of a cough. Over the course of a week, my mom continued to get worse and worse. It got to a point where my mom also couldn't breathe. My dad is only 61 years old. He was a college softball coach. He was in wonderful shape and could keep up with the college girls. And now he has to use a walker to get around. He uses continual flow oxygen day and night. So not only is he still battling health issues, he's battling the loss of his very best friend. If we could save even one life from going through what my family has gone through, then it's absolutely worth sharing my mom's story and my grandpa's story and reliving the hardship and the pain over and again, because family has always been my number one. And this virus has made it so my family is no longer whole. So I plead with everyone to do their part, to wear your masks, to wash your hands, to social distance and keep your gatherings small. Because there are daughters out there who deserve to have their mom around. There are husbands who deserve to have their wives around. So this is not political. This virus is real.